Okay. Should be fine now.
On tonight's edition of our nation's sports show, Ezra, Joey, and Kevin have you covered on the wild weekend in the National Football League. Last Friday, news broke that wide receiver of the Cleveland Browns, Odell Beckham Jr., has been released by the team. Tonight, they make their predictions on what teams they think can claim the wide receiver next. Like in Week 8 last week, in Week 9, the NFL has some shocking results again, such as the Denver Broncos absolutely demolished the Dallas Cowboys. The Ravens were down 24-10 against the Vikings, but like they always have this season, Baltimore came storming back to tie the game and send the game into overtime. In overtime, like he always does, Justin Tucker came through the clutch for Baltimore and kicked the Ravens to a victory 34-31. The New England Patriots turned away Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold 3 times on 3 interceptions, and one of those INTs went for a pick 6 back to the house. The Patriots beat Carolina 24-6. The Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Green Bay Packers. Like the last couple of weeks, the Kansas City Chiefs struggled once again on the offensive defensive ends. Mahomes threw a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill, and for a 7th straight week, Mahomes had another interception. However, Kansas City beat Green Bay 13-7. On Sunday Night Football, the Rams hosted the Titans, and one of the shocking results of the week, Tennessee absolutely thrashed the Rams 28-16. And on Monday Night Football, the Steelers got a wild win on Monday night against the Chicago Bears 29-27. The nation speaks to you next.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sports. Members of the Busted Open Nation bring to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickrey, Joey Thornton, and Kevin Rorie.
Oh yeah, we're finally here, guys. Woo! After a few little technical snafus and a code needed from our beloved Stevie Wyan to get into this, we're live, folks. We're here and we're ready to rock and roll. It is our nation's sports show, and we are live. We got a lot to talk about in the world of sports, including some breaking news that came out earlier this afternoon involving a couple of signings. And, of course, the crazy last week in the NFL, which we're definitely going to get into. And, of course, plus other little tidbits from other sports as well, including the NBA and NHL, MMA, wherever we get into, we'll get into it. Before we begin and before I introduce the people that I have with me tonight, we're going to get into the specifics. And that is how you can follow us and interact. Of course, you can interact with us on the Discord GG/Nation's Corner. Follow us there on the Our Nation Sports Show channel. Hit us up there. We can get your questions and comments on air, or if you want to call in, we can bring you in as well. Go to also mainly, of course, YouTube, like we are live right now. YouTube.com, search Our Nation Sports Show in the search bar, and you can find us there. Get us to 100 subscribers. We're almost there. We're almost at 20 to go. And we're almost there, guys. That way we can get that custom URL, and it's easier for you guys to find us and for us to post and help you guys find us. So get on that, folks. Get on there, share, subscribe, whatever you can do. Second, and then finally, of course, is our Facebook. Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Oh, yeah, and don't forget about Twitter as well. Twitter @ON_Sports Show. You can follow us there if you have any questions about anything we do on the show, sports, questions, comments, concerns, any of that sort. If you have any tidbits you want to add, you're more than welcome to. But enough of my yakking. Let's introduce these gentlemen here today. As you guys see from our vantage point, we are one man short. And that is Stephen Wyatt. Stephen right now is enjoying a great time. He's at Welcome to Rockville in Florida this weekend, a very big rock and metal festival featuring acts like Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Cypress Hill, and so many great others. Just an amazing, amazing festival. I hope Stephen has a good time, and we will see him next week on the show. But with me, we got the usual suspects. We got, of course, our buddy from none other than the Carolinas. Well, both of these men are just around that area, and that is, let's go with the big man, the San Francisco 49ers super fan, Kevin Rorie. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? Any Cowboy fans watching out there? I bought a whole brand new box of Kleenex for you.
Oh, it's already started. We haven't even gotten into the news that we might lead off with. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. But of course, we got with us another fellow man here, the number one Atlanta Braves fan, probably the only Atlanta Braves fan to be on the show ever. And that is, of course, JT, not Justin Timberlake. Joseph Thornton. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on down there? And I got to start off by saying, Buffalo Bills fans, y'all need to be holding y'all's hands in your faces the whole week. Because how can y'all lose to Jacksonville? I have no idea.
A wise man, Chris Berman, once said, no one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm speaking right now of the program we can get into right away. You know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. There's been a reunion of sorts, and that is the reunion of Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. It was announced earlier today, breaking news via Adam Schefter, that none other than Carolina has decided to bring back their former quarterback Cam Newton to the team on a one-year deal. There's been a lot, of course, there's people in the Carolinas that are happy that Cam's back. Some people not so much, including some people in this room. And including there's a guy from the Carolinas who's not here, who in just a little bit we will have a video from on his opinions on this. And it should be, if you know Stephen Wyatt and his rants, they should be relatively interesting. I mean, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. So let's get right into it. Kevin, I know you have some strong opinions about this as well. Get right into it. Your thoughts on Cam Newton returning to Carolina?
Morally, I think it's a good decision on both of their parts. Yeah, I mean, I know football ain't got no moral. Like, it ain't about, oh, I miss them, let's return home. Football's about winning, and I know there's no such thing as moral victories, but Cam Newton's washed up. He's not 2015 Cam. The Panthers have no O-line. They're asking to hurt Cam within 3 games of him playing. Second, I'm happy that Cam's able to come back just for the city and just for the state of North Carolina because, I mean, let's face it, as much as I hated the Carolina Panthers, everybody, they built around Cam Newton. Like, they loved Cam Newton. That was he did bring energy to the fan base. I don't like him and I don't like their fans, but at least they got him back. But now instead of going 4-13, they might go 5-12, folks.
Oh man, it's good. This is crazy to even think about a reunion with Carolina. Let's just say that much. I'm it's I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't think it's going to be unfortunately, any sort of help for them, just because I think it's too late already for this reunion to happen. Cam's already past his prime. He's had way too many injuries. That's just my opinion. And I try not to base my opinions off of anything that we haven't seen yet. But Cam was great in Carolina in the past, but there's a key word, in the past. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know how this is going to really help Carolina. I think they need a younger quarterback, a guy with younger mechanics. They need somebody who's going to be the future of the team, not somebody who has been the past. And I think Cam's time is come and gone. And I think Carolina right now, due to their record and due to the fact they're looking to gain more wins, I think they're just desperate and re-signing Cam to try and get some sort of legitimacy at the quarterback position. That's just my opinion. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, is it great that Cam Newton is going back to the place where he started his NFL career? Absolutely. Is it great that the fan bases are going to be, or at least try to get pumped up again? Absolutely. But you guys have pretty much said it. I mean, Kevin, you literally nailed it right in the coffin. Cam Newton is washed up. He's not the Cam Newton that we saw in the first 2 years of his career when he was a legitimate dual threat. And he's definitely not the 2015 Cam in which he guided the Panthers to that Super Bowl appearance against Denver. I mean, the reason the Panthers got rid of him in the first place is because he couldn't stay healthy. And now that Cam Newton has been somewhat under fire for going unvaccinated for the first few weeks of the season, he finally said that he's vaccinated, and I believe him because I think I saw a picture of him getting a shot not too long ago. But still, Cam Newton is Cam Newton. He's, in my opinion, he's just way too cocky. He's full of self-confidence, and it pretty much showed out there on the field. I mean, he overthrew receivers or underthrew receivers pretty much all the time. Every once in a while, he completed a pass right on the money, but that didn't happen very often. So I don't know when Cam Newton will be able to make an appearance for Carolina this year, because I guarantee you it won't be this week since he just got signed today. But even if he comes back next week, I mean, I don't wish bad luck on the guy because that would be bad of me to do that. But I just don't see the Panthers going anywhere still, even with Cam Newton back in Carolina. I don't see it.
I agree. I got two things with that, though. One is Carolina has bigger problems than their quarterback. And that sounds crazy to say, but it don't matter if you have Aaron Rodgers or Tom freaking Brady under center. If your offensive line can't protect, I don't care who you are, you're going to take some shots. You're not going to be able to have a clean pocket to throw the ball. And then I think, number two, I think Carolina's just trying to right a bunch of wrongs that they did. They went out this season, early on in the season. They traded a pretty good steal, I think, in C.J. Henderson, the cornerback out of from Jacksonville. They traded for him. Good. They already got A.J. Bowie. They traded for Stephon Gilmore. And then in the first round, before all this, the first round, they wasted their 8th overall pick on a cornerback, J.C. Horn, who was out for the majority of the season. Whereas they passed on guys like Mac Jones, who's having a hell of a rookie year for the New England Patriots right now, which I don't think he personally fits their system. But how about Justin Fields? If you give an offensive mind like Joe Brady, Justin Fields, they might have struck some magic if they kind of just stepped their own line. So I think in that sense, the front office of Carolina is just trying to right a bunch of wrongs that they've had starting from the draft. They didn't address the O-line, it's showing. They didn't address the quarterback position, it's showing as well.
You're right. And maybe, whenever he does take the field, maybe he'll study the Panthers playbook more because, I mentioned this to a group of guys earlier today. how I was saying that Mac Jones was literally teaching Cam Newton the playbook for New England whenever they were both a part of the Patriots. So maybe with him being in an old atmosphere, maybe he'll remember how to use the playbook.
We'll see. We'll see how things go on that front. Hopefully Cam can, use the playbook properly, and hopefully he's able to produce something for Carolina. But like I said, it remains to be seen. But on this subject, we do have a message from our very own Stephen Wine. As we said at the beginning of the show, he's not here live and in person as he's at the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Florida. But right now, we're going to play a little video from Stephen where he has some very vocal opinions about the signing of Cam Newton to the Panthers. So why don't we go ahead and right now, let's take a look at what Stephen Wine has to say. We'll be right back in just a second, folks.
So I am in Daytona Beach, Florida. For the Welcome to Rockville Festival this weekend that has bands such as Slipknot, Metallica, Lamb of God, Disturbed, Stained, Offspring, Gojira, Mastodon, Mudvayne, etc. And you mean to tell me that the week that I decide to take a break from our nation's sports show, that this goof, Cam Newton, re-signs with the Carolina Panthers? He was cut by the Patriots in the offseason by Bill Belichick. You know why? Because Bill Belichick knows football. Bill Belichick knows that Cam Newton is washed up. He's not the player that he used to be since his MVP season in 2015 when he took the Panthers to Super Bowl 50 against Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Cam Newton has been sucking since that Super Bowl. He continues to suck on the field last season in the COVID pandemic plague season for the NFL, and he will suck once again for the Carolina Panthers. Why, Carolina? Are you signing a player again that will do nothing for your franchise? Because let's be honest, Sam Darnold is not the answer for the Carolina Panthers. And it proves against that Patriots game on Sunday with his 3 interceptions of one of those pick sixes, touchdowns. I'm so heated right now. I can't even talk straight right now because Cam Newton is going back to the Panthers. Give me a fucking break. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, Carolina? Are you that stupid? Oh my God. I mean, I want to pull my entire head full of hair out. I mean, my goodness. I mean, what kind of crap is this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? God almighty. I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, Ezra, you told me, brother, take a video of you ranting, and here I am, damn it. I'm ranting and raving like a freaking madman because Cam Newton is going back to the Panthers. What a bunch of crap. Why? Why, Carolina, are you bringing back this guy? He will do nothing for your team this season what am I talking about for the duration of the season? Shit. I mean, my God, we're halfway through the season already. And you know what? He will have more interceptions than touchdowns this season. Yeah, there I said it. All you Carolina idiotic fans, take it. Take it up with me. Yours truly, Stephen Wonder Wyand. I said it. Cam Newton will have more interceptions than touchdowns for the remainder of this season. I'm done ranting. This is a bunch of bullshit. Cam, you're going to suck once again with Carolina, and you will suck for the rest of your career. Yeah, I said it. Ran over. Ezra, Joey, Kevin, back to you. I'm going to continue to rock out at Welcome to Rockville. This is going to be a great weekend, and this is not a great decision by Carolina getting back this goofball. I'm done. Peace.
Wow.
Comments, anybody?
Wow. You know, I thought I was going to be rolling. I mean, I thought I was going to be rolling on the floor laughing, but honestly, I mean, yeah, I was kind of laughing a little bit, but I mean, Steven pretty much said it. I mean, Cam Newton is an absolute goofball, and I mean, I was trying to stay positive here just because we're doing this show, but I was on an absolute rant whenever I first heard about this. I mean, I just don't know what Matt Rule and Joe Brady see in Cam Newton, other than the fact that, oh, I used to play for Carolina and I miss it here so much. I want to play here again. Sure, here you go. Here's $10 million on a 1-year deal. I mean, Kevin, your thoughts?
I believe he's going to have more interceptions than touchdowns, as well as have more goofy hats in his collection than interceptions. But
his clothes will be so loud. His clothes will be so loud. His clothes will be so loud. Russell Westbrook wouldn't even wear them.
Yeah, that's really saying something. But my question is,
shit.
Whenever Cam Newton does start appearing in games for the Panthers, during the press conferences, are we going to see Cam Newton, or are we going to see Cam Newton dressed up as Medea? Because I think we're going to see Cam Newton dressed up as Medea, or just Medea herself.
Well, we'll find out here soon. On that front, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be really, really fun to see how this turns out. But let's get into the other signing that happened today, and that is that if you say Von Miller was an impact player, well, look who joined Von Miller and the Rams, the team that most people did not see coming on this man's radar, and that is Odell Beckham Jr. A man who, despite having one great season, maybe two in the Giants, freaking unfortunately has tanked in Cleveland. Now he's with the Rams. There's people who have been pointing out some positive facts about how if he plays well, he could be a force on that team with the other great receivers they have. Justin Herbert, a quarterback, and it's a matter of, or actually Stafford, right? Stafford's the quarterback for the Rams, correct?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. Okay, thank you. Stafford, who's has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. He's done really well. But we know about OBJ's past, how he could be a little bit of, I won't say drama queen or anything like that, but the way the end of the Cleveland Browns situation was handled was not exactly the most professional way. But that's also by a product by his father too, who was coming out and saying things and kind of pressing the issue way too much. But I don't know what to think about OBJ joining the Rams. I don't think he's going to be that much help. I really don't. I think he's just a weight that's going to weigh down the Rams and weigh down their productivity. They already got some elite receivers they don't need anymore. Really, OBJ hasn't been elite for a long, long time. Unfortunately, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. He's been banged up. His productivity has gone down significantly. So it's a lot of different factors that plays into what could be basically a weight on the ship that is the Rams. Kevin, your thoughts on the signing of OBJ to the Rams?
Well, I thought he personally was going to go to maybe like Kansas City or Green Bay, because I've been defending him, even though I think he handled it immaturely. Oh, yeah, definitely. But I have defended his skill set by saying he has never played with an above average quarterback outside of playing Tom Brady. As I said on the pre-show, he's slightly above average. Same way with Baker Mayfield. Do I think Baker's a star? Yes. Is he a superstar? No. He's slightly above average to me. And I would think that, maybe playing with Kansas City, where you got Tyreek Hill, you can't double team him, maybe get him smoking looks, but no. And no, offense towards like Matthew Stafford or nothing, but Matt Stafford, is he overachieving this year? Yes, definitely. But as a whole for his career, he is not an A-tier quarterback. And I hate to say it, but he's joining not an A-tier quarterback who's already got the NFL's leading receiver, who Matthew Stafford's done pretty much said by his play style. I'm going to Cooper Kupp. I'm throwing Cooper Kupp the ball. He's leading the league in receiving. I'm going to throw him the ball. So if Odell Beckham thinks for 1 minute he's going to come in there and get like 8 catches for 100 yards, he's crazy. Because if Cooper Kupp ain't getting the ball, guess who's getting the ball? Robert Woods, who's been proven to be a legit threat in Sean McVay's offense. And if they're not throwing the ball, guess what? They're going to play defense, and they're going to run Darrell Henderson up the middle. He's going to run and get 100 yards a game. So I don't know where Odell's slice of the pie is, so to speak. I don't know how big his slice of the pie is going to be. Do I think he's got a chance? Yes, I'm not going to completely shoot it down because, as we know, Sean McVay is a top 5 offensive coach in this league. So I feel like maybe Sean McVay can scheme up something offensively for Odell because, all due respect, Kevin Stefanski's not an offensive coach. He's not a gunslinging coach. He's not gushing West Coast offense kind of coach. And the Rams have proven to be a spread it out and throw the ball all over you kind of coach. Sean McVay loves to sling the ball around. He loves to spread the wealth. So maybe in that perspective, Odell can get some touches, but we're just going to have to give it about 5-6 weeks to actually see how he fits into this offense.
Joe, your thoughts?
Kevin, I had the same mindset. I mean, the Rams were a team that I did not see coming. I did not see the Rams even jump into the conversation to sign Odell. And I mean, in a way, this could be a good scenario for him because he's going to a team who is, as of right now, a legitimate Super Bowl contender, even though they got their butts beat this past week, which we're going to talk about that later. But as of now, they are still a legit Super Bowl contender. But again, this took me by complete surprise because, I mean, he was looking at New Orleans, Kansas City, and Green Bay. And Kansas City and Green Bay need a legitimate number 2 receiver because New Orleans, I mean, they don't even have a number 1 receiver because Michael Thomas is now out for the season. In Kansas City, you of course have Tyreek Hill, who is, of course, the number 1 receiver there. And then you got another pass catching tight end in Travis Kelce. So Kansas City really needed a number 2 man behind Tyreek Hill. And like I was saying in our group chat earlier this week, the Packers don't have a legitimate number 2 because, yeah, Devontae Adams is number 1, but who do they got as a legitimate number 2? Nobody, because Randall Cobb is not the receiver that he was from his first go-around with Green Bay, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling is coming off an injury, so it's going to take him a little bit to get back into the fold. But, I mean, like you said, Kevin, if Odell thinks he's going to march into the Rams facility and demand touches that Baker Mayfield couldn't give him, he's sadly mistaken because not only do the Rams have, like we said, Cooper Kupp, who's leading the league of receiving, and Robert Woods, they also have Darrell Henderson, who can also catch passes out of the backfield and get a good chunk of yardage that way too. So, I mean, Odell he may think it's a win-win situation for him, but in reality, it's a lose-lose situation because Odell is not going to be taking targets away from Kupp and Woods. He may take a few pass-catching targets away from Henderson, but come on. Henderson is a running back. He's a running back. And I'm not saying running backs can't catch passes because they can, but Odell, I just don't know. I mean, we only got 8 weeks left in the season, and it's going to take Odell at least half of that time. Like you said, Kevin, 5 to 6 weeks for him to see what we're going to see out of Odell on a regular basis in this offense. But, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a matter of getting himself acclimated back to the Carolina Panthers system because like we've seen in the past, every coach is different. Every system is different. You don't always have the same system in the same team that you came from. You could be Tom Brady can go back to New England and they could have a whole different mindset if they get a new coach. Or Mitchell Trubisky can come back to the Bears and there could be a whole different system and Neil Maggie's gone. So that's a whole different process that Cam might be different because it's not the same coaching staff as he was when he was there the first go around. It's different. And he's got to be able to acclimate and adapt. And you know that takes time. That's not a 1 week, 2 week process. I mean, if you're as good as Cam Newton was, maybe you can understand those playbooks. Maybe you can get yourself acclimated quickly. But you know as well as I do, that's what the training camp is for in the offseason. That's what training camp, film study, all that is. You know that, Kevin. You being a guy who has coached football before. You know, whether it's been in the minor leagues or the majors, you coach that shit. You know what it takes to acclimate to a system. So it's the same thing that Cam's going to have to do, especially if there's a new coaching staff involved and there's going to be new playbooks, do all different sorts of stuff that he's going to have to relearn. So I don't think he's going to be that much help. Well, you talk about that Cam situation like that. It's the same thing with OBJ. OBJ's the exact same way. He's going to have to. He's great in the system that he was in, which was the old New York Giants system. This is a whole different ball game. This is a whole different ball game for him to be in. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But as far as that goes, we're going to see how both issues play out, the Cam Newton situation and the OBJ. But right now, let's get into the games from last week. And last week was officially what I deemed opposite day in the NFL. I deemed opposite day because everything was so bass-ackwards, it was ridiculous. We had the Jets scoring 30 points on the Colts, but the Colts still winning 45 to 30. We had the Falcons taking down the Saints. Mind you, Saints are without Jameis Winston. They're dealing with injuries, dealing with problems and stuff, so that's expected. And the Falcons are playing decent, but let's get into it. You mentioned this at the top of the show, Kevin, when I introduced you. The Broncos stomping the Cowboys 30-16. Kevin, lead the charge.
It's like I remember when they said on ESPN how Tom Brady would fall off a cliff after a certain age. Well, sounds like what the Cowboys offense did Sunday. It was completely fall off a fucking 20-foot cliff because like you go out from scoring 35 talking about, Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and all those guys and Zeke is back and you couldn't convert the first 4 fourth down attempts you try early in the game. You flat out stinked, and at one point you're losing 30-0. That was essentially the score, even though it was 30-16. In the fourth quarter, it was 30-0. The Broncos just said, "To hell with you. Let's put our backups in for God's sakes. Let's rest our starters. It's a blowout." Like, Dallas, what are you doing? And remember, I said on this, I think it was a previews on this show before, when we were previewing the NFC East, and I said, Dallas, this is your division to lose, but just be patient. Stephen A., the words of the great Stephen A., it's coming. The downfall of the Cowboys is coming. Just be patient. It might not be this week. It might not be early in the year. It might not be till playoff time, but it's coming. And this is a sign from the football gods that, Dak and company, you're going to stink it up at some point, and it might be in that wild card / divisional round. You're going to stink it up, and here you come again. That's the Dallas offense falling off a cliff and into a damn hole, and you're done. Horrible play by the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, it just does. It seems to get better and better, man. Not for Cowboys fans. And let me tell you, this is me being honest, man. This was not the best game for Dak. This was not the best game for virtually anybody on that team. Right now, I'm going to pull up some stats real quick on the game itself. Denver has won 7 straight games versus Dallas. So they already had an advantage on them in that front. But some stats here. We got since I haven't done this in a while, Teddy Bridgewater for the Broncos. He had 19 for 28, 249 yards, 1 touchdown, but no picks. He had no picks. Great game. Javonte Williams, 17 carries for 111 yards. Melvin Gordon, 21 carries for 80 yards with a touchdown. And even Teddy had a running touchdown himself. So it's looking pretty good. Tim Patrick, 4 receptions, 85 yards. And Jerry Jeudy had 6 catches for 69 yards himself. Now the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, 19 for 39, 232 yards, 2 TDs, and a pick. Ezekiel Elliott had 10 carries for only 51 yards. And the rest of the rushing core couldn't really do much. And none of the receivers really had big games. The biggest game came from Dalton Schultz, who had 4 receptions for 54 yards, but Malik Turner had 2 touchdowns on 5 carries for 33 yards. So really, and then of course the team stats. Denver virtually led in everything. Led in total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, average yards per play, points scored, of course. Dallas lost a fumble, threw an interception, of course. But Denver allowed their quarterback to be sacked 4 times where Dallas only had 2. And then Denver led in third down efficiency and time of possession. So, Joe, your thoughts on Denver taking out the Cowboys and moving to 5-4?
Allow me to channel my inner Stephen A. Smith for just a second.
This is not going to end well.
Oh, man. I cannot stop watching that video that Stephen A. Smith criticizing the Cowboys loss. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I didn't get to watch any of the afternoon football because I was hanging out with family, and of course, that's always a good time. But I was able to pull up some stats from my fantasy leagues, and I was looking at a couple of players or a couple of teams who had players playing in that Denver-Dallas game, and I saw that Denver was up 19-0 at one point, and I was like, huh? And then I saw that Denver was up 30-0 in the fourth quarter, and I was like, Dallas, are y'all awake out there? But yeah, this was a horrible game for Dak Prescott. He didn't even complete 50% of his passes, which is a rarity coming from him, seeing how he has red hot targets in Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Ezekiel Elliott completely got shut down, which is no surprise because with Ezekiel Elliott, he may have some good games to start out, and then he'll fall apart. And then maybe 1 or 2 more good weeks, and then he'll fall off the rest of the season. So I think now we're going to see Zeke collapse like he did in this past Sunday's game. We're going to see him collapse pretty much the whole rest of the season because teams are finally starting to figure out Dallas. Teams are finally starting to figure them out. And for Denver to go to AT&T Stadium, the biggest NFL stadium by capacity ever, and completely outslug the Dallas Cowboys for 4 quarters, it just makes you want to laugh. And me being a Washington fan, I mean, I know we didn't play this past week, but seeing a Dallas loss is completely worth it to me. Completely worth it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch this game either because of unfortunately, I'm usually after the first game I have to get some sleep because I work midnights. But I did catch some of the highlights the next morning and watch a few things. And you could tell that there was some issues on all sides of the football. It was just really, really rough for Dallas. Had a rough time defending, had a rough time just getting the ball off. Dak seemed a little he had a good game, but it wasn't a Dak Prescott performance that we usually see from him, which is a big high percentage of yards and some great throws, which we didn't see this game. And it seems like they were struggling on just both ends of the ball. And hopefully for Dallas fans, this isn't a trend that'll continue. And I know we make fun of the Cowboys like we do the Jets and we do every other team. But in all seriousness, for Cowboys fans, we hope that your team gets it together. We hope that your team, this is not a detriment that's going to be a trend that's going to follow through the rest of the season. Of course, if your team is in that division, the NFC East, you really, really, really want that trend to continue. But of course, I'm NFC North. I really have no dog in this fight. I just wish Green Bay would fall into Lake Michigan and never return, but I digress. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
for real though, Dallas. I mean, this is really Dallas's division to lose. I mean, we may have seen step one of it this past Sunday, but seeing as how you're in a division with the Giants who have no offense whatsoever, with the Eagles who quite honestly is like a hit or miss given the week that they play in, and Washington who has completely fallen apart. I mean, I still think Dallas is going to win the division unless they suffer a complete collapse, which at this point I kind of hope it happens, but then again, I hope it doesn't because I would like to see the NFC East become a legitimate division again, but until all four of those teams in that division get some help, it's never going to be legitimate. Never.
No, it's one of the weakest divisions, not only in the NFC but in the entire NFL.
Yeah, Ezra, can I talk about this next game? Because this has been on my mind pretty much ever since I saw the result from this past Sunday.
Well, the next game on the docket is the Patriots and the Panthers. We're not there yet because I'm going by games in order of what was on the schedule. But I mean, we don't have to go down the whole list. I'm just naming off a few things. Patriots, Panthers, 24-6. Patriots whoop the Panthers. That's expected for Patriots. They've been playing decent. They've been playing pretty good this season. Quick stat on that rookie QB who's on that team. Let's take a look at that. And Mac Jones, I mean, he didn't have a great game because he had 12 of 18, 139 for one TD and one pick. But the Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions. So yeah, that was pretty much just it there. But Ravens. I saw the Ravens and Vikings game, which was I saw clips of it, which was great. But the Browns, man, Baker Mayfield back in the helm again. The Browns whooped the Bengals 41-16. I saw that game. I watched that whole game from start to finish, and it was one hell of a game, man. Let me tell you, the Browns were on fire. They were playing great. All assets of the ball they were doing really well in. I mean, quick stats real quick before we get started, before I pass off to you guys. Baker Mayfield, 14-21, 218 yards with 2 TDs. Nick Chubb, 14 carries for 137 yards with 2 touchdowns. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones, 2 receptions, 86 yards with a TD. And then David Njoku, who had 1 carry but had a touchdown with it for 18 yards. So and then it looks like for the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, which is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, of course, he threw no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 282 yards passing, a 28 for 40 average there. And then there was two those two touchdowns actually came from two of those carries from Joe Mixon, 13 carries, 64 yards, 2 TDs. And then he even brought in Brandon Allen, who was 1 for 2 for 6 yards. So, any thoughts, gentlemen, on this game, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and the ass whooping that the Bengals took?
Well, the Odell Beckham situation, I feel like lit a fire under Baker Mayfield's ass, and Baker got after it. I ain't gonna play. You could tell he had some added extra motivation about that game because it's like, you know what? You want out of Cleveland? Get the fuck out of here, and I'm gonna show you what you're missing. Put up a 40 burger almost on Cincinnati, who is a legit team. They literally just come in there and ran through them all over. And then Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward are proven to be a top-notch defense because they held their own against Jamar Chase, which is very hard to do. And Denzel Ward came in there and locked him down.
Yeah, it was a hell of a game from start to finish. It was Cleveland played pretty flawlessly. I mean, they, like I said, no interceptions. They played strong on both ends of football, offensively and defensively, getting those 2 picks, getting the just getting at the ball, and they did a really, really good job. So, Joe, your thoughts?
Well, this wasn't the only embarrassment that I saw this past week, and believe me, I want to talk about the embarrassment game that I'm thinking about next. But yeah, I saw something on Facebook after the Bengals got stopped by Cleveland saying it was a meme about Joe Burrow after the Bengals beat the Ravens to go to 5-2. Somebody put a comment above Joe Burrow's head and said, "This is our conference to lose. Can't nobody touch us right now." Ever since then, the Bengals have lost 2 in a row to not only Cleveland this past week, but to the Jets the previous week. I mean, the Bengals are now 5-4, but in my opinion, I still believe they are a legitimate team because the Bengals, they are going into their week off with a 2-game losing streak. So you best believe that Cincinnati is going to do everything they can to get a fire up underneath them once again to prove that they are actually a legitimate team who can actually compete with the Baltimores and the Pittsburghs and the Clevelands once again. I mean, yeah, Baltimore still holds the lead in the division by virtue of their amazing overtime win over Minnesota this past week, but I still think Cincinnati's a legitimate team. I mean, as long as you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on the same field, you're gonna have a legit offense. You're gonna have a legit offense. And seeing how those guys are so young, Burrow's only in his second year, Jamar Chase is in his rookie season. I mean, like we mentioned week after week, that Bengals offense is going to be so legit for years to come. Yeah, they may hit a couple of bumps in the road to get there, but as long as they get there, which I guarantee you they will, Cincinnati is going to be a threat for years to come. So yeah, they did hit a speed bump in their loss to Cleveland, but Cincinnati will be coming in off their bye week next week, ready to roll, ready to put the ball in the end zone, ready to put the ball where they need it to be, and Cincinnati is going to once again become legitimate.
I agree. This next game.
Oh no.
All right.
You guys know I ranted about this before we even started. Remember this.
All right, if you're going to talk about the embarrassment that I'm talking about, allow me to start off with this question. if you are a Buffalo Bills fan right now, how can you be showing your face to the public?
They're not,
let
Joey. They're drunk face on the table again still. They're face drunk on the table.
let the
They're putting
Jacksonville-
themselves through tables in the parking lot, not for fun. They're doing it because they're so mad at their team.
Oh yeah.
You let the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have won only one game this whole season and who haven't won a game in the USA in 453 days, you're going to Buffalo, you're going to let Jacksonville come in and beat y'all with just 3 field goals?
Yeah. Let me just say this one statement. How about Josh Allen? Not the quarterback, Josh Allen. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Josh Allen. Like, so you telling me, hold on. Here's the number one, what the hell, bro moment right here. You have an offense like Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, Zach Moss, and you register 6 points, not one touchdown against Urban Meyer's Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, the Bills Mafia up in Buffalo, New York, watching their TVs like, what the hell, bro? Horrible. This was embarrassing. And I call this every time I say a team is legit, they go out and stink it up next week just to make me look dumb. Because up until this point, the fucking Buffalo Bills have been dominant top to bottom. They go in and destroy Kansas City, who everybody picked Kansas City to win. They go up and pick them down, and they look dominant. Then it's just like the last 2 weeks. Oh, we're going to fuck around until the second half again. Last week, they fucking sucked the whole first half until they showed up. Now this week, they sucked for all 4 quarters. Horrible. Embarrassing. Horrible.
I ranted about this before we started. How can you stay at 6 points with your Buffalo Bills? Your team who's got an impressive record. I'm going to be calm about this one, unlike where I went off in a funny way earlier. How can you do that? How can you stay at 6 points for 3.5 quarters, then at the end blow it to Jacksonville? Freaking, I guess Stephon Diggs is too worried about getting his AEW themed cleats on Instagram instead of worrying about catching a ball. But and then that's probably the reason why they won. It's probably the reason why they lost, because Tony Khan's like, ooh, AEW cleats. Freaky, but seriously though, it's an embarrassment. Like, how can you do that? You're Buffalo Bills. You were 5-2. You're one of the best teams in the league with one of the best offenses. How can you let this happen? How can you let your guard down? How can you not produce against Jacksonville? They should have been up by like 35 by the time the third quarter hit. But they were tied at 6. With the team wasn't won in over 400 days.
You know what?
It's insane.
You know what, Ezra? I really am. I'm starting to wonder if they didn't pull the Dallas Cowboys and get too comfortable with their lead in that division, because hell, let's face it, their division sucks. Outside New England is getting hot, which right now, Buffalo, you better get your heads out of your ass and start to play, because New England's only a game back from being in first place in the AFC East. So you better get your head out of your ass and start playing like you want to play, because you don't want to go to week 16, week 15, so on and so forth, and being tied for first with New England, because that's when Bill Belichick will get to you, and he'll kick your ass, even with a rookie quarterback. So I tell you what, Buffalo, get your head out of your ass. You got only a 1-game lead now on New England for first. Yeah, you got the Dolphins, who suck in that division, but Dallas, they can afford back to that. They can afford their little slip up, because Dallas is like 3 games up in their division at least. But Buffalo, not so much. New England's coming right for you. They don't win their last 3 games. Yeah, they're coming right for you, Buffalo. You get your head out of your ass and play football.
I agree. Let's go ahead and move out of that to one of the bigger games of the week, which was unbelievably the New York Giants squeaking out a win over the Raiders. Who would have thought? Look at that, 23-16. The Giants have won 4 of their last 5 games against the Raiders. That's insane for a team who has really been the opposite end of the spectrum as far as a successful team for the past, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
It's been insane. It's been insane to think about. The Raiders, Derek Carr threw 2 TDs, even though he had a near 300-yard day. But he only threw 1 touchdown, though. He only threw 1 touchdown compared to the Giants. Daniel Jones, he only had 1 touchdown at 110 yards. And somehow they squeaked out the victory. Must have been a great day on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what we're going to get into right now, or on the defensive side. Vegas led in total yards, passing yards. Giants led in rushing yards. But here, in each team had a fumble that they lost. But like I said, Raiders threw 2 interceptions, and that's pretty. And then Giants also led in third down efficiency, and time of possession was only a slight thing. But Vegas had 6 penalties in that game. Probably the most critical stat there was the 6 penalties compared to the 4 only for the Giants. But somehow they pulled it out. They squeaked this victory out. It's you figured a team like the Raiders would put the Giants down, but I guess that's not the case.
Well, I mean,
like I said, you could beat any team on any given Sunday. That's been the mantra for years. Any given Sunday, any team can be beat. But with all the scores, it felt like opposite day. That's why I named it opposite day in the NFL last week.
Yeah, man, you're exactly right, Ezra. Any team can be beat on any given Sunday or any given Saturday in college, for that matter. But I mean, we got to cut the Raiders some slack because they have really, really had a rough season. I mean, I still think the Raiders are a good team. They may have gotten beat to the Giants, but with them going
no, we don't cut them slack here. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, with them going through the whole John Gruden saga and then going through the Henry Ruggs episode, I mean, yeah. Vegas, they still are a great team. I mean, a lot of things just couldn't go their way this past week. And luckily, Devontae Booker from the Giants was able to have a really decent game. I mean, he had a really, really decent game. And I got to give him props for that. I mean, he helped me win one of my leagues this week. So, hey, way to go, Devontae. But, yeah. I mean, the Raiders are still a good team because they still got Derek Carr as a quarterback. They still got great offensive weapons, great defensive weapons. I mean, they were just like Cincinnati. They had a speed bump in the road in the form of the New York Giants. Now, the Giants are a below-average team, but like we said, week after week after week, any team can be beaten on any given Sunday, and that just happened to be the case for Vegas.
To me, Vegas, I'm not going to give them props of calling them bad, good, got saga, all this. I'm not going to do that until week 16, week 17, week 18, because I've seen this saga before. Vegas start out 5-2, or at that time, Oakland, for the past couple years, they start out really strong, and then they just flatline. And they were one of the only teams a couple years ago to even touch Kansas City. Beat them once already, and damn near took them to overtime again when Kansas City nobody could figure out how to stop them. And then it's like after that loss, they just flatlined the rest of the year. So when Vegas can prove that they end up say 12-5, 11-6, or something like that, then I will start saying they're improving. But until then, I'm gonna be standoffish and say, it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Next game we're gonna get into. Of course, we got to get into it because of all the news that's been going on recently. That is the Packers and the Chiefs. Of course, the Chiefs beat the Packers 13-7.
Ugh.
Of course, last week we talked about how Aaron Rodgers, the saga continued with him and the Green Bay Packers organization. How Aaron lied about his vaccination status, tried to seek an alternate route, but was denied by the NFL and Roger Goodell. Well, he was fined. I believe it was $10,000, if I'm not mistaken.
$14,000
for not disclosing his vaccination status and playing without being tested and all that stuff. And then the Green Bay Packers organization themselves were fined $300,000 for their role in this whole saga. And also Adam Lazard was also fined as well 10 plus for the same issues. So, but Aaron did not play this week due to he was under the COVID-19 protocol. And so that was I guess that would be a factor in the loss of Green Bay, because as you know, Green Bay to me has always been Aaron Rodgers at the helm, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they have great players, but like you said, they don't have a great number 2 receiver. They only have one guy, and that's Devontae Adams. They don't their team is like it's like 9 Inch Nails. It's Aaron Rodgers and whoever wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. 9 Inch Nails the same thing. Trent Reznor and whoever Trent Reznor hires to be there. So, but yeah, just and in Kansas City, I mean, they didn't play that great this week at all. Once again, they're showing the struggles of this season that they're going through. They were squeaked it out by 6. But a quick stat: Kansas City is 4-0 versus NFC teams, but 1-4 versus AFC teams. As a stat, so that's not good against teams in the opposite division. So, couple quick stats here. Of course, Jordan Love, who stood in, he was the number three stringer because of the number 2 stringer was out as well. He had 19 for 34, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Chiefs, of course, Patrick Mahomes, 20-37, only 166 yards, 1 touchdown. That's it. Most of the work was held up by the rushing with Darrell Williams, and that's pretty much it. Derek Gore didn't really do much of anything. 3 carries for 13 yards, and Travis Kelce had 1 touchdown, 5 receptions for 68 yards. Let's go to Joe first, since I've been going to Kevin nearly every fucking time. I got to give Joe some shine here, man. I gotta give the rub to Joe, like they say in pro wrestling. Joe, your thoughts on Kansas City's performance and the whole Green Bay saga that's going on right now with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, before I talk about the actual game itself, I got a question for a certain NFL commissioner named Roger Goodell. You got a player like Aaron Rodgers who lied about his vaccination status. He lost a partnership with a health center in Wisconsin because of it. He gets fined $14,000 for lying about his vaccination status, but yet he fines Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb $20,000 for not having his shirt tucked in. I mean, I don't know what's going on inside Goodell's head, but
I don't think to be honest, none of us do.
Yeah, that certainly isn't it. But back to the game itself. I mean, I watched a good chunk of that Chiefs-Packers game, and I mean, Mahomes is really starting to look sluggish, and it's really starting to concern me because, I mean, I look at Patrick Mahomes as one of my favorite NFL players in the game today. I mean, I actually have a shirt hanging up in my closet right now that has Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, number 15 jersey on it. And because, I mean, I just think that highly of Patrick Mahomes. He's been a great player coming into the NFL. He's been lighting defenses up, and I've just really liked the effort he's been putting in year after year. But his performance this season is really starting to worry me because I'm hoping this isn't the start of a Patrick Mahomes downward spiral. And if it is, then I just got one thing to tell you, Mahomes. Step up your game. Step up your game because this is not the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to. This is really not the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to. And from the Packers' perspective, the only reason they only put up 7 points in that whole entire game was because Karen Rodgers didn't play. And yes, I said Karen, not Aaron. Yeah. And Jordan Love, he made a really good throw when he was able to scramble out of the pocket and fire that deep pass to Randall Cobb, who was able to make that amazing catch. And me personally, that was the play of the day. That was the play of the day. But, and I understand with it being an away game, visiting quarterbacks aren't really that high profile, much less their families that matter. But how can you sit Jordan Love's girlfriend and his mother up in the nosebleed seats at at the stadium? I mean, this is his first NFL start in his career, for crying out loud. And you're going to sit the two most important people in his life up in the nosebleeds? Come on, NFL, get real. But, I mean, yeah, Mahomes, he's really in the middle of a slump right now, and I hope he can break out of it because Mahomes is my favorite player in the league right now, and I just hope he can break out of this before it's too late for Kansas City.
It's also because you got him on your fantasy team, don't
you? Yeah, I have him in both my leagues.
Yeah. See, I knew it. I knew it, sir. But I agree with every single one of your sentiments about the team and about that game from this past week. Let's see, we got at least one or two more games to talk about. We're gonna skip the 49ers Cardinals game because I don't need Kevin being in too much pain tonight. We'll just say Arizona had a good game despite not having most of their team together. You know, and of course, it was announced that AJ Green would return. That AJ Green is back after being on COVID-19 protocol. That was announced earlier today. So that's good for fans of that team. But next game we're gonna get, and we can't really say much about the Titans and the Rams because those were two awesome teams who took on each other in a hell of a game. I do
want to say one thing about the Titans, though.
Okay. Go ahead.
They are certainly building my respect week in and week out because the quality teams that they have beaten on their resume is like endless. They've beaten the Chiefs. They've beaten the Bills. They've essentially beat every AFC enemy like that they were going to play in the playoffs already. They go beat a Super Bowl contender already in the Rams and without their number one horse. They don't have Derrick Henry. So what did they do? They game plan. They make arrangements. The head coach, Mike Vrabel, he knows how to make coaching adjustments. He played under Bill Belichick for countless amount of years. He made adjustments. That's what you do as a coach. You make adjustments. It's a chess game. You make adjustments. You make the right move. And guess what? You still win the game. You have Adrian Peterson looking like he's prime AP. And then the Rams are just shell-shocked. They don't know what to do because it's just a good game. And I know they didn't have Ryan Tannehill. People's like, oh, they're babying Tannehill. They're just throwing screen passes all game. So it's working, ain't it? Why stop something when it's working? until you stop the screen, I'm gonna play safe and throw screens all game until you could prove you could stop it. Why change? So shout out to Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans, who are atop of the AFC, currently the number 1 seed right now. Let's see if they can hold on to it for the next 8 weeks.
I agree with that. Joe, any quick notes about Tennessee, that game that you want to talk about?
I mean, there's not really much I can say. I mean, Tennessee has earned my respect. They're going out and playing great games without Derrick Henry. And, I mean, it was just an all-around great game by Tennessee. I mean, yeah, the Rams played a great game too, but Tennessee was just a better team that night. I mean, that's all I can really say.
Yeah, Tennessee is definitely a team that's been on the rise the past couple of seasons. They've had some great, of course, Derrick Henry, to me, the best player in the entire NFL, one of the best running back in the NFL for sure, an absolute monster. We've said this before, and to me, Tennessee has been doing good on all assets of the ball, especially their offense. Their offense is lights out, great, great quarterback, great. Just everything about that team is screaming a future divisional champion, and they will be. There's no doubt about it. They're gonna make the playoffs this year. I have a feeling they will because they're so good right now. I mean, is it too early to tell how deep they'll go? Yeah, of course. We're only halfway through the season. Nothing is for certain. Nothing is for sure. We still got a long way to go, folks, and trust us. None of us are counting our chickens before we hatch. But Tennessee is a team I think that could be a threat to any team in any division at this time because of just how good they are.
Exactly. And if this Tennessee team can put up numbers like they did against the Rams, even without Derrick Henry, which, Kevin, by the way, as a fantasy fan, I want to ask you a question about Derrick Henry after the show. But if Tennessee can go out there and put up numbers like they did without Derrick Henry, that just lets you know that Tennessee is in it for the long run. That shows that Tennessee is going to be a serious threat come playoff time.
Oh, yes. And definitely Tennessee's mindset is exactly how I, from a player's perspective, kind of on the field perspective, would imagine that Tennessee is just playing for the long haul. They're just get in and you win. They're trying to get in because they realize if they make it to the playoffs, they get their big stud back 100% healthy, fully rested for that first game. They get to play with Derrick Henry possibly in the first round of the playoffs, fully rested. And I feel bad for anybody who has to play them with a fully rested Derrick Henry. It's not good for the rest of the AFC, that's for sure.
Exactly. And with the way Tennessee is playing right now, we could actually see them wind up in the Super Bowl. We could actually see them wind up in the Super Bowl this year, and it would not surprise me at all if they did go to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, Bills losing to the fucking Jaguars.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Tennessee could be a Super Bowl contender. It's just a matter of can they keep it together until Derrick Henry comes back? Can they make it that long? And when Derrick Henry comes back, can they keep that momentum rolling? Because that's a question. Is like they say, everybody's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And they got punched in the mouth pretty bad when Derrick Henry went out for foot surgery. But they seem to bounce back, and they seem to be doing really, really well. And I'm being a guy who has lived in Tennessee for a short time. If I had to pick a secondary team, the Titans would be my secondary team. I love that. Been in Nashville multiple times. Love the city. It has a special place in my heart, and so do the Titans. That team is representative of that city's strong will, and I know that for a fact. So, but let's get on to the final game so we can get on to our score predictions. And the final game we're going to talk about is a game that I'm proud of in a sense because I'm proud of because of his performance, but it's the Bears and the Steelers. Yes, the Bears lost, but Justin Fields, coming from me being a Bears fan, Justin Fields did a great job. He did a good job, and he's starting to get better and better and better as the weeks progress, and it's showing his maturity as a player. Justin Fields, look at this: 17-29, 291 yards, almost had his first 300-yard day, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Big Ben only at 21 for 30, 205 yards but he threw 2 touchdowns. Really no other stats on the Steelers end as far as their rushing and passing players to really talk about. And the only one who really had several players had big days on the Bears. Allen Robinson had 4 receptions for 68 yards. Cole Kmet had 6 receptions for 87 yards. And then Marquise Goodwin had one pass caught for 50 yards. So Bears, Justin Fields has some targets, and he was making sure everybody got a shot and getting him deep into the field. So Justin played really, really well. Just maybe a critical error or two down the stretch. And of course, we're going to talk about this, a call or two that should have went Justin Fields' way. And that's one thing that really I question about the NFL's officiating, as we've had for every goddamn game since the beginning of time. That is that how come a player like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Big Ben, gets all the calls or gets certain calls, where Justin Fields or a Mac Jones or even a Justin Herbert won't get those calls when they face an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Big Ben. That's the question I ask, is like, why is that such a thing? And I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not going to say the refs were paid off. None of that bullshit. I'm not going to say none of that. It's just the way the calls are selected and the way the penalties are selected and who's watching what. And to me, it's very uneven in my eyes, and that's part of the reason I think why the Bears lost that game. If there were certain calls that went both ways, maybe the Bears would have snuck it out, but who knows? Kevin, your thoughts?
About the game itself, I don't really have much to say. I just got to say, like you are on that same page, Ezra, that the officiating is horrible. It gets worse and worse. I think the new taunting rule is complete bullshit. Back in the day, I watched Randy Moss literally celebrate by mooning Lambeau Field, and he literally he didn't get no call. Nowadays, he probably get a 2-game suspension, a hefty fine, flag like hell, and like the taunting rule is bullshit. That it's becoming soft in the NFL. The other penalties, like Justin Fields don't get those calls. A guy blatantly hit him 5 seconds after he got rid of the ball. Should have been roughing the passer. Didn't get the call. Then what really irked my nerves or grind my gears was when the official jumped into the Bears player throwing the flag. He literally bent over and hip checked the Bears player just so he'd touch him to throw a flag on him. Now that's bullshit. Just like the lowering of the helmet calls they've been making lately have been bullshit. Like the running back can duck his head, and if you're the defender, if you go to duck your head as well to get lower, you're getting flagged for trying to hit crown to crown on the top of your helmet. That's dumb. And just like my old guy from the 49ers, Richard Sherman, had just once said, like Roger Goodell, wake up. You know why there's so many ACL injuries? Because your officiating is telling us not to hit head up or above the letters or in the shoulder pads. Your officiating is saying, oh, hit them up high, you're getting a helmet-to-helmet hit, which is clearly not helmet-to-helmet. So, go attack their knees. Whether play straight football and not get hurt, or tear someone's ACL and end their career possibly, because there's so much of an increase in ACL injuries that it's really crazy that all this officiating is turning out to be what it is now. It's complete bullshit the way the game's called.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% on that front. Joe, your thoughts?
As far as the game itself, I mean, it was a great game. Big Ben played an okay game, but Justin Fields, I mean, he once again proved that he is going to be up in the young top quarterback range like the Joe Burrows and the Lamar Jacksons, and heck, I'll even say it, the Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Justin Fields he has been proven why he belongs in the top tier of quarterbacks right now, because ever since he took over as the Bears starting quarterback, he has played lights out. And I guarantee you that one week really soon, it might be this week, it might be next week, but 1 week really soon, Justin Fields will log his first 300-yard passing game. I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it, because Justin Fields, he has the athleticism. He has the ability to put the ball where he wants it to be. Now, as far as the officiating, it has been terrible since week 1, and it has not gotten any better. It has not gotten any better whatsoever. I mean, when Kevin was talking about Randy Moss celebrating the touchdown by mooning the entire Lambeau field, we also saw a touchdown celebration go awkward when, after he scored a touchdown, Joe Horn pulled out his cell phone to call his mom and say, "Hey, Mom, look at me. I scored a touchdown. I'm in the end zone. Watch me." The officiating has been absolutely horrible this year. Absolutely horrible. And I do not see it getting any better. Every single week, the officiating does something to piss off an NFL fan base. And for sure, it's going to continue again this week. I guarantee we're going to see it at least once every single week for the rest of the season. We're going to see an officiating crew blow a call or miss a call or make a bad call or make the wrong call or something like that and completely tick off an NFL fan base. I just don't know what's going on with the officiating. It needs to get better, and it needs to get better now.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that. Officiating needs to get better. It's getting ridiculous. But it's that time once again, folks. It is our favorite.
Let's go.
Time. It is our score predictions for Week 10. And I have Steven's predictions. Actually, he sent it to me in a message on our Discord GG/Nations Corner. That I'm going to read as we go along here. So let me pull up his scores real quick. All right, we're set. Let's start off with the first game that's going on actually right now. That's currently in progress. The Ravens and the Dolphins.
Oh my God. I suppose with the score of it being right now 3-0, I can't say neither one scores 0. So I'm gonna go with the trend here, seeing as every Thursday night game, no matter who's played, it's been kind of semi-close. Give me Baltimore 24, Miami 20.
I'm going with 20. I'm going to go with 24 to 17.
Dolphins, right?
No, Ravens.
Oh.
Fuck you talking about? Get the hell out of here with that shit. Steven put he thinks the Ravens 27, Dolphins 14.
Okay, that's a good pick. And as far as my score, Kevin, I'm actually going to copy yours. I like your score. I'm going to say 24-20 Baltimore.
Oh, yay. This next game should be a doozy.
Oh, no, here we go.
Oh, here we go again.
They better win this fucking game or I'm going to lose my shit.
The Jets.
Buffalo Bills versus the Jets.
Give me Mike White and the Jets. No. Like, seriously, no.
I swear.
Listen.
If the New York Jets win this game by a final score of 12-9, I'm really going to lose my shit.
I'm going Buffalo because that Jacksonville game, it was a trap game. Buffalo just didn't really give a fuck. They just came in there still half asleep or drunk, something. So this week they're going to start to play. And actually, I got Buffalo in the bounce back game. Give me 30-14, Buffalo.
I'm gonna go Buffalo 34, the Jets 10. Steven went 31-13, Buffalo over the Jets.
Ooh.
I'm going to go 31-10, Buffalo.
So y'all don't trust in Mike White?
No,
Go.
I don't.
Not even fucking close.
Especially since he might not play this week.
Oh man.
Yeah. Next game on the docket is the Buccaneers versus the Washington football team.
I'm going to go last.
I'll go first. I'm going to go, let's see. Buccaneers 35, football team 3. Steven put Tampa. He says Bucks are going to win 34-6 over Washington.
I'm gonna give Washington. I'm gonna give them some scores because I'm going Tampa 31-14.
Okay. Joe?
I will tell you right now, we are not going to see no near upset 31-23 game like we saw in the wild card last year.
Why not?
We are definitely not going to see that. I can tell you that right now. Because that game was supposed to be the supposed birth of Taylor Heineke. But what has he done this year? Oh, I'll tell you what he's done this year. Absolutely nothing. I mean, Washington needs a quarterback in the draft, and I actually kind of hate to say this, me being a Washington fan, but I hope we continue to suck throughout this season because if we continue to suck throughout this season, we will actually be in the running for at least a top 5 pick in the draft, which could see us finally get our hotshot young quarterback that we need.
Because the Lions already got the number 1 draft pick wrapped up, tied up in a little bow for Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Well, when the Jaguars keep upsetting people, hell, Washington might have a chance at it.
Yeah.
Them and the Jets done got 2 wins.
So what's your score, Joe?
I mean, I would love to see Washington take the guy out of Ole Miss, Matt Corral, because he can be a good quarterback for us. But for my score, I'm going to go 38-10.
Okay.
I'm going 38-10, Tampa.
Okay. Next game, Falcons and the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium.
I swear, if Dallas loses this game,
it's possible.
I mean, Denver sure did it last week, so I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta can do it too.
I'm gonna go Dallas, but I think it's gonna be a damn close one. I'm going 26-23 Dallas.
Whoa!
I'm going 24-17 Dallas. Steven went 27-17 Dallas over the Falcons.
Oh, I want to pull for Atlanta in this game. I really want to, but I can't.
Come on, Joey, take a chance.
I'm going. I really want to pull for Atlanta this week.
You're just really trying to screw him up, aren't you? Aren't you?
That's how you make a difference. Hey, you got to put all your balls on the table. You got to put them on the table and go. Make a bold prediction.
I do want to see Atlanta beat Dallas, but I'm going to go Dallas 27-24.
Okay. All right. Next game, Nissan. It's going to happen. Titans and the Saints at Nissan Stadium in Nashville.
Give me the Titans all the way.
Okay. What's your score?
Give me the Titans. My score is going to be 28-13.
For me, it's gonna be 31-20. Titans over the Saints, and Steven has picked. Takes me a minute because this stuff is almost like a run-on sentence in here. Yeah. Let's see, Steven, where the fuck is your score for this game?
You got a tie. A tie.
It's like deciphering hieroglyphics in an ancient pyramid. There we go. No, I'm kidding. No, I found it. Tennessee 24, New Orleans 10. That's Steven's score.
Okay. Now, Ezra, my score is almost going to match yours.
Really?
Almost. I'm going to
You
go
wanna say Saints?
Tennessee 31, New Orleans 21.
Nice. Very nice.
31-21.
Very nice. The next game. It is the bar burner of all bar burners.
Oh, here we go. Bring it on.
The Colts and the Jags.
Woo!
Well, the Jaguars done had their upset of the year last week. They're not going to do it again. Plus, with Derrick Henry being out, the Colts have the best running back in football right now, Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. I think they'll have a big day, especially on Jacksonville. So give me the Colts. Give me the Colts 28-10 on Jacksonville.
That's a tough one. Not in the choice. Of course, I'm picking the Colts, but I gotta go with I'm gonna go with 27-10. Colts over the Jags. Steven picked Jacksonville or picked Colts 23, Jacksonville 13.
Oh.
I'm going to go 30-13 Indianapolis.
Okay, next game.
Oh, God. Here we go.
The Steelers versus the Lions.
Hey. Who would have thought we'd see 44 trash cans on the field at one time? Oh, wait. We see that on a regular basis anyways. Never mind.
They can't wait for the Jets Lions Super Bowl. That'll be a ratings booster.
Yeah, the toilet bowl. Because it ain't nothing but pure shit in there. But anyway, okay.
I'm gonna go Steelers 28, Lions 3. And then Steven's score for that game should be interesting. I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's see here. Come on, Steven. Where the fuck is it? I swear. Did you forget this game? I don't even see it on here.
Oh, he didn't want to deal with 44 trash cans.
I can't. Hey, I can't believe it. No, here it is.
Oh.
Pittsburgh 23, Detroit 10.
Oh, wow.
Both of these teams stink.
All right. Who's next?
I'm going Pittsburgh, but I'm going in a weird score. I'm going 14-12 Pittsburgh.
Really?
Oh!
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, next game.
Yeah, I'm surprised you boys are actually being lenient because I'm going to go Pittsburgh 31, Detroit 13.
That's not bad.
Oh, wait. I'm actually being lenient too for once.
I was going to say, that's not bad. All right, next game. 2 5-4 teams. Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Should be a good game.
Yeah, this
teams that are on a roll, that's for sure.
It's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I'm gonna stick with the trend. I know New England's been hot as of late, but I gotta go with Cleveland. I gotta go Cleveland 27, Patriots 23. It's gonna be a close one.
You're right. With that defense, I'm going Cleveland. I'm going 31-28 over New England.
Nice. Steven, for his prediction, he picked takes me a second here, folks. Let's see.
Goose egg.
New England. He picked the Browns 23-20 over the Patriots. Close one from him too.
All right, so
Yep.
I'm actually gonna turn the tide on you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna go New England in this one.
Hey,
And the-
that's
and
not
the
shocking.
reason- The reason I'm going with New England is because I have heard that Nick Chubb more than likely is not going to play this week. I have heard that Chubb, as of right now, is not expected to play this week. So I think that's going to be a somewhat of a huge hit to Cleveland, and I think New England's going to take advantage of it. I still
Yeah.
think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be 31-24 New England.
Okay. All right. Next game, it's going to be the Chargers against the Vikings at SoFi Stadium. I'll go first on this one. I'll go. Of course, I'm going to pick the Chargers. Justin Herbert playing lights out, playing really great ball. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Chargers 31, Vikings 17. Steven went in that game. Vikings and Chargers. He went Chargers 28, Vikings 20.
I'm actually gonna go the opposite, you guys. I'm going with the Vikings. I'm going 30-27. I think they get the upset this week.
Oh, nice. Okay. Joe?
I'm actually going to go with the Chargers, but I'm going to go 31-23.
Okay. The Vikings and Chargers is going to be the first 4:05 p.m. Eastern game for the week. Next one is Panthers and the Cardinals at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. I'm going to go.
Give
I'm
me
gonna
Arizona 38-6.
That's
That's quick.
I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to Arizona 34-10. And then Steven for that game, he picked
The Panthers.
no.
I was about to say, good Lord,
After that rant he sent me, no.
Hell no.
If he starts picking the Panthers, he probably drank too much at the Rockville Festival. He picked Arizona 28, Panthers 14.
All right. So we're going to see the return of Kyler Murray. We're going to see the return of DeAndre Hopkins. And we're going up against a Carolina Panthers team that has a bummed up running back in Christian McCaffrey and two quarterbacks who will be eligible this week by the names of PJ Walker and Matt Barkley.
Yep.
Give me the Cardinals 41-9.
Damn.
41-9.
Okay. Next game, Broncos and the Eagles at Mile High Stadium. Who wants to take that one?
Give me the Broncos. I think they still ride that little win against Dallas. Got a little momentum. And they're in Denver. Give me the Broncos 23-20 against Philly.
Okay. Joe, you want to go next?
I am actually going to go 27-23 Denver. Even though we may see, I'm not saying we will, but I'm saying we may see the return of Miles Sanders this week. But even if he does come back, he's going to be splitting carries with at least Jordan Howard and possibly Boston Scott. But, yeah, I think Denver's still going to ride their little wave of momentum, and it's going to be 27-23.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm gonna go with Broncos. I'm gonna go 24-17. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer. I think Philly may have a good game this week. Who knows? Steven's score for that one is the Broncos 20, Eagles 14.
Okay.
Next game on the docket is the Packers and the Seahawks. at,
Oh.
at Lambeau Field, of course, in Green Bay. I'm not even going to waste time. Packers, even though how much I'm begrudgingly picking them right now. Fuck the Packers. I go to Seahawks in a blowout just to be an asshole, but I'm not going to. That's just me, though. Packers, I'm going to go Packers 27-17.
Okay.
And then Steven's score on that game is Seattle or Packers 30, Seattle 20.
I'm going to go into upset, guys. Russell Wilson coming back.
Yep, that's right. Russell Wilson will be back.
Aaron Rodgers is too focused on whatever he's got going on with the media. I'm going in the upset. Give me Seattle 28-24.
Very nice. Very nice. Joe?
I'm actually going to side with Kevin on this one. I'm going to Seattle. I mean, we're going to see the return of Russell Wilson. Quite possibly not more than likely, but at least possibly a slight return of Chris Carson in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Seattle 34-24.
Okay. Next game is the Sunday Night Football game, the Chiefs and the Raiders.
I'm going to go ahead and shock y'all. I'm going with the Raiders. Give me the Raiders 21-17.
I'm going with the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders as well, man. Same score as yours, only up by 3 on the opposite team, 27-20. And then Steven's score on that one is the Chiefs at the Raiders. He picked Vegas 24, Kansas City 23.
Oh, wow.
Ridiculously razor close game. Wow.
I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I'm going to go an upset here.
Okay.
I'm going to go an upset here. The Raiders are still a great team, but I think Kansas City, hopefully, will start playing the football that they need to play now.
Yep.
I'm going to go Chiefs 23, Vegas 20.
Okay. And then the final game for the week, Monday Night Football, the Rams and the 49ers at Levi's Stadium.
Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams 31-23.
I'm gonna go with the Rams 34-24. Steven picked in that one as well. He picked LA 21, San Francisco 17.
Wow. I'm going to go 34-27 Rams.
Okay. All right, guys. And that is our picks for this week. Woo! Some great picks, some upsets picked by you guys. Some close games from Steven. Thank you, Steven, of course, for sending in the picks as well as the video from earlier. We appreciate that, brother, and we will see you next week. That's for sure. Can't wait to have you back. But before we move forward on any last-minute topics, I want to get into a couple of quick. Actually, we're going to get into a quick score update before we get into some quick news notes and maybe get into some NBA talk as well, real quick before the show ends. Ravens right now, of course, are playing the Dolphins, as we mentioned in the beginning. Ravens are currently up 3-0. 59 seconds left in the first. Right now, NCAA football is going on right now, too. Number 21 ranked Pittsburgh taking on North Carolina. Pittsburgh's up 23-7 with 4:40 left in the second. And then, of course, the NBA going on right now. Only 3 games tonight. Raptors and the 76ers are going on right now. 9 minutes left in the fourth. The Raptors are leading the Sixers 90-84. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, we got the Pacers and the Jazz. And at 9:30 or at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, we have the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Clippers playing. And of course, the Clippers game will be on NBA TV. So that's a real quick score update.
Not really looking forward to any of the NBA games tonight. The one game that I am looking forward to at least seeing the highlights of is definitely going to be the Warriors going up to Chicago to take on the Bulls. That's going to be a high profile game. Not saying it's going to be NBA Finals worthy, because I mean, who knows what can happen once the NBA playoffs roll around, but Warriors at the Bulls, that's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Right now, those two teams are the most exciting teams to watch in the league outside of Miami Heat, Chicago and Golden State.
Absolutely. Both teams have been on an absolute roll. Steph Curry playing lights out, had a 50-point game the other day with 10 assists. Was a fucking just an absolute beast. And then the Bulls coming off several years of pretty much obscurity, have finally found a formula that fits well, got the right players to fit well, and have been playing lights out and playing extraordinarily great. Vucevic playing well, Lonzo Ball playing great whenever he wants to, and then of course Zach LaVine just absolutely out of his mind, one of the best players out there right now. Zach LaVine, great shooter. So it's going to be a hell of a contest, man. That one is hard to pick. Even I'm a Chicago fan all the way through, but even for me, that's hard to pick because Golden State's got firepower out of the yin yang, and then you've got the Bulls who on all sides of the ball are just absolutely just insanely good. So,
you know who I got to go with? I got to pick Golden State.
I mean, I'm
just because of the X factor of Stephen Curry, the clear-cut front runner for MVP this year, right in front of Kevin Durant and Ja Morant. But I got to go Steph Curry, the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, 3 times Finals champion. Yeah, I got that's something the Bulls don't have though. That's why I got to rock with the Warriors on that one.
Hey, it's all good, man. Hey, that's your team, bro. Of course, I'm going to pick the Bulls. Of course, I want them to win, but I'm just excited to see the game go. It's going to be it's going to be a battle. One bad note for the Bulls, though, just kind of came out, and that is that Nikola Vucevic has tested positive for COVID. And he will be out. So,
well, I guess it kind of negates itself because Draymond won't play Friday night either for the Warriors, as he dealt with a nasty thigh contusion. So he's kind of got a little bruise on his thigh that he's dealing with. He'll probably be out for the weekend.
Okay. All right. That's good then. A couple quick or one or two quick notes, and then we're going to close out the show because we're getting ready to head to the end of it here. One of the notes that we made earlier is that, or one of the notes from this, that AJ Green was activated earlier, like we said, from the COVID-19 list. He's back with them. Let's see, couple other quick notes. It says right here that somebody waived their wide receiver today, the Niners. Do you know about that, Kevin?
Oh, Jalen Hurd, yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Hurd was waived today by the 49ers.
Yep. He had so much talent coming into the pros, but for the 3 consecutive years now, he had a torn ACL, a torn Achilles, and another knee injury, and missing the whole year. He just can't stay off IR. No need to keep him.
Absolutely. Couple quick NHL notes, and then we'll officially close out the show. Right now, the Ottawa Senators currently have 8 players that are currently in COVID-19 protocol. Right now, they're dealing with the rash of COVID-19 in their camp, which is not good for them, unfortunately. And then also, quick note: Rick Nash, one of the best players for the Columbus Blue Jackets in their history, will have his number 61 retired on March 5th of next year, before their game against the Boston Bruins. So that's cool for him. Also got to talk. Also, I want to throw a quick mention out to the Blackhawks, who are finally starting to seem like they're gaining some sort of momentum now that they got the whole. Seems like they're starting to go away from the that situation involving their GM and the whole sexual assault allegations, and not only that, but Patrick Kane returned from 10 days on COVID protocol, came back his first game, scored a hat trick. And then the other night, Alex DeBrincat won the shootout to get him a 2-game winning streak finally after losing like 8 games in a row. But I think that's pretty much it on my end. If you guys got anything you want to throw out there real quick?
I do, and I know that you guys. I know that you guys are going to talk about this upcoming Saturday night, but AEW Full Gear is going to be happening this Saturday.
Absolutely.
And I wish that I could watch that live. I hate that we can't watch AEW pay-per-views right now, because one match that I'm really going to be looking into is going to be the matchup for the AEW World Championship, which is going to see the big bad Kenny Omega going up against Hangman Adam Page. And I can guarantee you I'm calling it right here, right now. That is going to be the night that Hangman Adam Page becomes AEW World Champion. I think he's going to beat Kenny Omega. It's going to be a very, very hard-fought match. I'm going to go Adam Page and beating Kenny Omega.
Absolutely. It's going to be Full Gear is going to be one hell of a card. It's going to be, not only do you have Omega versus Page, and this is stuff we're going to talk about in the Nation's Quarter, which I'll plug in just a second, but also you've got CM Punk, Eddie Kingston. You've got a tag team match, Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo versus Pac and Cody Rhodes. You've got freaking a buy-in matchup, Thunder Rosa in action as well. You've got so many other matches on that card. You've got Ty Conti taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the AEW Women's World Title.
And you can't forget about the Lucha Brothers against the Good Brothers.
No, it's actually Lucha Brothers versus FTR.
FTR, that's right. FTR,
Yeah,
I looked at it wrong.
Yeah, the Good Brothers, or the Lucha Brothers versus FTR for the I believe it's AEW World Tag Titles.
Yep.
And of course that will all be discussed on the Nation's Corner, which will happen this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central on YouTube. Discord.gg/Nation's Corner for more information. Of course, it'll be hosted by our boys Tony Justice in front row with a rotating third this week, but also they'll also be talking about the upcoming Mission Pro show next week from Sea to Shining Sea, which will be awesome, featuring the matchup that everyone sees, Laney Luck with Dave LaGreca in his corner, taking on Thunder Rosa. And it's going to be a really, 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 really interesting fight, that is, because Dave and Thunder have been in this feud for a while. And it's going to be freaking awesome. I cannot wait to watch that Mission Pro card. Of course, I will be this weekend at the Nick Gage Invitational for Game Changer Wrestling, the Ultra Violent Deathmatch Tournament. 8 competitors. Who will survive and be the king of the Nick Gage Invitational? We'll find out this Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 on YouTube on Fight. It's going to be fucking awesome. Kevin, any final thoughts on today's show before we close it out?
Dallas Cowboys, do not fuck this up this Sunday. That's it. That's all.
All right, Joe?
Another great show with you guys. I hate that we couldn't have the one and only heavy metal brother, Stephen Wyatt, on tonight. Stephen, I hope you're having a great time at the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. I hope you're having a kick-ass time, and we look forward to having you back here next week, brother.
Absolutely. It was a great show, guys. Awesome time. Thank you guys so much. Once again, you guys are awesome. You helped break down some great scores. And, of course, next week, we'll break down Week 10. We'll talk about what'll happen this upcoming week, and of course, week 11 we'll discuss. Really, that's the way you're gonna close this out. K-E-E-T-S, go Jets. You're lucky I like you, Kevin.
Wait. Is that better? Is that better?
There you go.
Okay, that works.
That works.
Okay. All right, everybody. Let's close this out. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Who has watched the show? Thank you so much. Thank you to Todd. Thank you to AJ, our buddies in the Discord who joined on the YouTube chat. Thank you to everybody out there. It's time to say goodbye for this evening. So don't forget also, like I said, follow us at ON_sports show on Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show, YouTube, youtube.com, search Our Nation Sports Show in the channel. Subscribe, share, get us to 100 subscribers so we can get that custom URL. Also, don't forget Discord GG/Nation's Corner. Like I said, watch the Nation's Corner this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Follow them at twitter.com/Nation's Corner, facebook.com/Nation's Corner, and instagram.com/Nation's Corner. Follow them on all their socials for a great wrestling show this coming week, featuring some great talk. But that's it from me, from Joe Thornton, from Kevin Rorie, and from our brother who is out rocking out right now, Stephen Wyan. I am Ezra Vickrey, and we will see you all next week for another awesome edition of Our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening.